What's up, everyone? I'm glad to see you made it to the second lesson on DOA. If you missed the first one, don't sweat it. You can still catch it on the Dallas Venom website under the download section. I also want to thank everyone on their comments and suggestions y'all gave me on my first lesson. It is greatly appreciated. Now, to get today's lesson started, we're going to talk about DOA's triangle system. So let's get to it since it's a difficult subject to explain. DOA's triangle system is very similar to what people know as the rock, paper, scissors game. In DOA, everything has its weaknesses and its strengths. Rock crushes scissors, but loses to paper. Scissors cuts paper, but loses to rock. And so on. Same thing can be applied to DOA. Attacks beat out throws, throws beat out holds, and holds beat out attacks. So let's talk about beating out throws first using the triangle system. When you're playing someone and you realize that although your defense is pretty solid as far as blocking goes, your opponent still comes in on you, not with attacks, but with throws. A way to avoid this is to beat out the throw with its weakness. That is any attack in your character's arsenal. This means any throw attempts by your opponents must grab you before you push your punch or kick command, or else you will interrupt them no matter what part of the throw animation they were on. Your opponent can even be on the last frame needed to grab you, but as long as you push your attack, you'll beat them out. Up next is beating out attacks using the triangle system. Sometimes when you're playing against your opponents, you will realize that they like to do a move that has little to no punishment when blocked. This can frustrate you. An easy way to tone down the use of that move is by using the attack's weakness, and that is by holding it. There are two types of holds. There are defensive holds, which I covered in lesson 1, and offensive holds, which you will see today. The way to hold your opponents using defensive holds is to recognize the patterns that lead up to the abusable move. As soon as you see it coming out, press the correct hold that will react accordingly to the attack. If it's a high attack, use a high hold. If it's a mid-kick attack, use a mid-kick hold, and so on. Now, very similar to the throw situation is that even if your opponent's attack is at the point of hitting you, as long as you hold before it comes in contact with you, you will still beat them out with your hold. Now, the way to hold your opponents using an offensive hold is completely different from defensive hold. Also, you may want to check your character's command list for doing an offensive hold, since every character has a different input. Offensive holds are also known as catch throws because of the throw animation they do and because of the fact that they can catch you out of your attacks. However, the correct term to use is offensive holds. When using an offensive hold, try to use it as an attack that has priority over all punch and kick attacks as long as you get them first with your holds. This means that if someone tries to beat you out with an attack that's either slower than the hold or was done late, then the offensive hold will absorb the attack and throw them out of it. Now, unlike defensive holds, which have 4 different hit levels, offensive holds only have 2. There is the high mid hold, which will cover all high attacks and most mid attacks. Then there is the mid-low hold, which will cover all low attacks and a few mid attacks. Now moving on to the last thing, and that is beating holds using the triangle system. When you are playing someone that is just exceptional with both offensive and defensive holds, you will realize very quickly how annoying this can be. It will feel like you cannot attack without worrying for your life that you will be held again. So this is when you have to use the hold's weakness, and that is throws. If you're in a match and you notice right off the bat that your opponent loves to hold after the first attack, it would be in your best interest to throw them out of it. Now, we all know that not one hold can stop all attacks. However, instead of taking a risk and doing another attack, it would make it a lot easier for you to just throw them out of the hold. This will tone down their love for holding pretty fast, which in turn will help you in the future with your next attack and not worry about a hold coming out. Now remember, there's offensive holds too, but the weakness is still the same. If you see an offensive hold on the screen, push your throw button before you become in contact with their hold. Your throw will automatically take priority over their hold and you will throw them out of it. Not only that, if your opponent becomes too predictable with their offensive hold, you can then start using any throw in your arsenal, including your strongest one. Well everyone, that pretty much sums up the triangle system and my second lesson on DOA. Now remember, attacks beat out throws, throws beat out holds, and holds beat out attacks. That's just how the game works. I know it was a little bit confusing, but like always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on the Dallas Venom website or on my MySpace. Thanks for catching the second episode. stay tuned for the next one. This is Master speaking, and I'll catch y'all next time.
See ya!